the African spirit and way. And we distinguish between elders and those who are simply older, because menticide has driven some of us into a treasonous arrogance. Those who are truly elders are our seasoned visionaries. They are our proven warrior servant workers. They are those who uncompromisingly speak to what needs to be done. And this is a life of revolutionary sovereignty seeking experience. They hold our vision closer to their hearts because they are us on the horizon of return.
Put your lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put your lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. Yo, I wonder if we seen the elders rise from the grave and they seen us today. What would they say? Envision as you see my words glide from the page. I imagine they would be so ashamed of our ways. We in the same position, maybe because we ain't listen. Do we like the discipline for the tunes they was spitting? Or maybe this was karma because we ain't show them honor. Word to Dr. Ben, we should have held them down stronger. Call it how I see it, maybe that was signs from Jesus. A metaphor on how we gon' treat our own leaders. They came here to teach us and we cheered from the bleachers. And when it's time to ride, we turn our backs when they need us. We pour libations, but we form our own nation. I pray we wake up and see the time we was wasting. We even seen Elijah lay the blueprint for black power. Peace to the scholars like Dr. Wilson and Tony Brown. Light us up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put the lighters up high, wave around side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. If you can hear this, throw your fist in the air. We gon' do this for our family that's here. Yo, this is the hour of celebration for black power. To all the soldiers and scholars, giving their flowers. The frontliners like Jabari and the soul vibers. They rep Tubman City, they set the bar higher. And them brothers like KT, the arts degree, they gon' carry on the legacy of Dr. Savior. Peace to risen Islam and Brother Ben. With youth like them, we can end our own suffering. Break the curse of Willie Lynch with Charles S. Finch. Professor Small, take us back to the essence. I pay homage to Carlos Muhammad and Dr. Maya, torchbearers that kept it honest. The light is up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put the lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. My energy and my thoughts is like John Clark. Still on this marathon like Farrakhan. I got an army of riders taught by Elijah. It's how we start this evolution. For Patricia Newton.
Peace and love, family. Welcome to another powerful discussion with your sister, Dr.maat. Family, I had to go live. And initially, I was going to go live yesterday, but I was exhausted. And then I said, well, I'll go live on Sunday. But then stuff just kept happening, man. I mean, you know, we got the news that James Earl Ray, I'm about to say L Ray, but it's Earl Ray, James Earl Ray, he passed. He transitioned at the age of 92 or 93. And then today we get hit with the news that, Frankie Beverly, and you all know from Frankie Beverly and Maze, Frankie Beverly transitioned at the age of 77. And then we had the circus debate that took place last night. And it was a circus, man. That was some good entertainment. I laughed the entire time. I fell asleep probably about 35 minutes into the debate. And then I got up this morning. I watched the rest of it on YouTube. And I laughed. I laughed the entire time. Both of them were lying on both sides, and they were throwing shots at each other. Shots at the shots at the shots. Trump never fails. He's hilarious. The man is. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, he never fails. He started talking and throwing his shots and talking about dogs and cats being eaten. It was a mess. So anyway, I said I have to go live. I have to go live before I settle into the day. So wanted to go live for a few, and I dropped the link in the chat. If you're not on YouTube, make sure you come over here to YouTube. I dropped the StreamYard link in the chat. I want you to hop on here and share your thoughts with me today. I want you to join me. Share your thoughts with me today if you watched the presidential debate last night. And I definitely want to know what your thoughts are about it. But before I give you mine, I do want to shout out to my audience family in the building. I see the Melanated Cafe in the building. He says, he says, peace and black power to the family. I see my sister Kiara. She's in the building. She said, Ashe. Oh, she said, tag me in, coach. I got some stuff to say about both. Ashe, pull up on me, Queen. Pull up on me. I see the Panther Strike is in the building. Says peace and power, Queen. Oh yeah, peace and love to you, beloved. I see Laylo. Love is in the building. She says, wow, the headlines hit so hard. I agree 1,000%. I see Miss Coates is in the building. Peace and love to you, Miss Coates. I see you. Oh my goodness. She said, Tina McElroy. She passed. Oh my gosh, she transitioned as well. Oh my goodness. Peace and our elders, man, a transition. And I see D is in the building. Peace and love to you, D. I see you. Hold on. That's Shania. She said Trump said the South Americans are sending their criminals here. That's why crime rates are up here and down in their home countries. Girl, I heard that. I heard him. He was like, yeah, crime rates are going down all over the world and it's going up here because all of their criminals and they're emptying their jails. And I started to say, Trump, you may want to shut up because that's actually what happened to America. Huh? Remember Britain and over in Europe, they were emptying their jails here and a lot of their criminals came in here to America. So I say you might want to be quiet, Trump, because that's what that America, a lot of those criminals and crooks, from England came over here. Salute to the ancestor Ishaka Musa Barashango. He teaches that history, and some of our scholars have taught that history. A lot of Europe empty their jails right here in America. So you might want to be quiet with that. I see TK is in the building. Peace and love to you, TK. TK said, what I missed, I didn't get. Yeah, TK, they playing games. YouTube is playing games. They never, my aunt was telling me that they unsubscribed her. They turned off her notifications. So family, if you are subscribed to the channel, make sure that you go back and check and see if you're still subscribed and that your notifications are on. Shani also said, I hope he realizes he is I didn't even read this comment. Yes, he is a descendant of a group of criminals, right? That was sent from Europe here to the, come on. I didn't even read your comment and we were already on the same page. I didn't even read your comment and we were already on the same page. Love you too, Queen. Love you too. But I'm going to go ahead and let Panther Strike in the building. Kara, you there, Queen? Kara, I see you. Panther Strike, peace and love to you. Kara, I'll wait till you cut your camera on. Peace and love to you, brother. How are you doing?
Yes.
Yes. Peace and love. Peace and love. Did you all see the circus last night? Oh, you got
on both sides. Yes.
You got to unmute Panther Strike. Yeah, we can't hear you. Oh, so he went out and come back in. Greetings to you, Miss Betty Jenkins. Greetings. So sister, am I pronouncing your name correctly? It's Kira, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Sister Kira, tell me what you were thinking, what was going through your mind from start to finish when you watched that debate last night.
So both of them, they both crazy. Both of them crazy. Um, Look, I know you can't really talk like just out there just because my job or whatever, but I ain't doing it with either one. One, Trump, Trump for one. I mean, I don't know even what you can say about that. People eating cats, people eating dogs. The man, like, he just came out. I ain't never seen nothing like that. It ain't no need for nothing like that in a presidential debate. My main thing would tune me out listening to him when they brought up Central Park 5. It's been 40 years. That man ain't never spoke on them people ever. He has not spoke on them. The DNC did bring them out and he just skipped over it. He paid $85,000 to sit up here and make a whole page saying about how they needed to be executed. Some kids that was innocent the whole time. Ain't no reason. I don't even know why his HR, whoever, ain't tell him he needed to say something, apologize. I just feel like, I can't remember the brother's name. I think he's like a senator or a councilman, the dark skinned man that's part of the Central Park 5, the Muslim
I
one.
know you're talking about the Muslim one.
Yes. He's already into politics. It need to be something said. He need to come back with that. Kamala Harris with her, the whole Project 2025. She done made videos, paid commercials. She done put out so much that Trump made that. He ain't smart enough to do nothing like that. He did say, I'm an open book. I don't have nothing to do with that, which he don't. That's Mormons. It's in there stated. All the people that came together with that 900 pages, and she banked on his ignorance and everything else like that. People not wanting to read Project 2025. Don't nobody have time to really sit down and do that or even know where that even came from. She didn't put out all of this propaganda. Trump did it, and listed all this crazy stuff that it says in there. Trump has Project 47. That's his agenda. That is his agenda. It's already written. He's already pushed it out. That's his resume coming into this presidential election. He already did that. He not smart enough to pull off nothing, 900 pages of anything. Trump is so closed in with his cabinet, he hired his whole family. He's a criminal. He can't afford to have no outside people around him. Ain't no all them people. They also met with Joe Biden. She ain't put that up there. Just like they met with Trump, the people that did Project 2025, they met with Biden too. That ain't publicized. Kamala Harris is coming into this fight. She don't have no executive plan. She don't have nothing. How you show up to the job interview with no resume? Period. She she only had a month to come up with something to say. If you knew that she was running for president, which she knew before this whole race started, they knew they was gonna put her in. They knew that Joe Biden done had 3 brain surgeries and all this, that, and the third. He wasn't gonna make it, or he was gonna die. She's a vice president. She should already had her stuff together. It don't take that long to sit up there and come up with an executive plan. So she coming into this fight with no resume. Don't nobody know what she want. I feel as though that Trump, he's trying to lead the country into entrepreneurship, which is a good thing for the economy on his side. It really is. But his whole thing where he's allowing soldiers, police officers, doctor, and all of that to not be held accountable for what they do while they're on the clock, that's a direct hit at the black community. It ain't gonna work if you allow cops to sit up there and kill with no repercussions and everything else like that. They gonna have an open field day target
Oh
practice
yeah.
on all of
Oh,
us.
oh yeah. Full immunity. Full immunity. Yeah.
It can't happen. He ain't in my interest at all. But then with Kamala Harris, one, she didn't lie. Her whole thing about has been Project 2025. That's the only thing that she's been saying. That's not Trump. Don't nobody know what her plan is. Don't nobody know how she thinks. And I really feel her agenda is way different from Biden's.
Oh, well, people are going to say her plan is the opportunity economy. Remember, she's going to give people $25,000 for a down payment for a home, $6,000 tax cut for those who have children, first time parents. When you have children, first time parents, $6,000 tax cut, $25,000 down payment. She's sending billions of dollars to these community banks that are supposed to fund entrepreneurial projects. in the communities. So I'm just saying what she's running on is this opportunity economy and then also women's rights. So she's saying that, they're trying to overturn Roe versus Wade, which they did. But she was saying that, we want to, I want to make sure that women have the right to make decisions, for themselves and for their children, decisions and have power and autonomy over their bodies. So she's running on women's rights, this opportunity economy. She failed at the border. I mean, she's saying that she's going to get tougher with the border now that over 20 million migrants have come in. So now she's supposed to be tightening up the border. I'm trying to think what else. I'm trying to think what else. Tell me in the chat if I missed anything. Betty Jenkins says, so where's all this free money coming from? Exactly. And did you hear at the end, Kira, did you hear at the end during the closing remarks, Trump said, you keep talking about all that you're going to do. He said, you've been in there for 3.5 years. Why haven't you done any of the stuff that you said you were going to do? I fell out. I fell out. He said, you've been in there. And then some people are pushing back and saying, well, she was the VP. Her hands was crossed. She had to follow the lead of the president. So what are your thoughts, Kira?
Trump owns Congress. Trump owned Congress. They're not going to pass nothing with the Democrats. All of what she's saying, oh, she want to do this, she want to do that. You can want to do everything that you want to do, but Congress got to approve it, and they're not.
And he kept saying that. He said that last night. Remember, he said, it's not going to get through. It's not going to get through. He said, so she could push with it. He said it. It's not going to get through. She could push whatever she wants, but it's not going to get through. He was saying that type of stuff last night, too.
It's not. It hasn't been. Congress is owned by them. What's the lady, the bad built bodied lady, the blonde one? She's at all of the Trump rallies and everything. Congress already saying who they for. They're not going to let none of her stuff push through. And then she says something that Trump, his administration, their plan is going to add $4,000 a year to the economy for each household. That's $300 extra a month versus her. She don't have no plan for this inflation. She don't have a plan for this inflation. And the way that it's going to be costing us thousands of dollars monthly. It's already the inflation since the Biden administration have taken on. The inflation has already gone up $800 averaging just across versus what she's saying. Trump, I take the 800 going up towards 1,000. I mean, not the opposite way. Sorry. I'll take the $300 versus the 800 up going in this inflation. She it is no plan. And then that whole thing was going back and forth. It's like a kindergartner. She talking something, going to his rally is boring.
Yeah. I was just like, and then he started talking about, well, you pay people and bus people to yours. Like you said, that was kindergarten stuff. E. Max says she was raised by an Indian mother. Did you catch when Trump called her a Marxist? I was like, Trump, he was like, she's a Marxist. Her father, I think he said her father and her mother told her, right, she's a Marxist. I said, oh my gosh. They were throwing so many daggers.
That lady, how I feel, my personal opinion about her, and is no slack to her mother. Her mother is not from here. Her mom came here as an immigrant, so that's how she was raised. She wasn't raised for the Black people, how she's pushing us out. Even we saw that when she brought out Meg Thee Stallion. She showed us what she think about Black girls. Me, myself, I done been in the military. I'm in a professional standpoint. We got to fight every day to, get that image away from us. And all she did was forefront that. I'm talking to kids every day. Oh, yeah, she's down with Meg Thee Stallion. She got all these rappers and this, that. Those ain't the people that's going to help us. Those ain't the people that's doing nothing for us. And that's what she's saying. Oh, she's Black. She's using all of these artists and stuff like that. That they not helping us. They're pushing us down, feeding into all these stereotypes and everything else like that. Ain't nothing. Look, I don't trust her. I don't trust her.
I can hear it. You like, I don't trust. You like, I don't trust neither one of them. I don't trust her. I hear you. I hear you, Queen. But thank you so much. I'm gonna let Panther strike in here. I appreciate you coming and weighing in, Queen. Hey,
West.
Come on, hands down. That's who I'm going for. I'm trying to get him on the platform now so that I can interview him. So I'm hoping that his team will agree to an interview soon with me. And I'm talking about soon because time is of the essence. November's right around the corner. So I definitely want to see if I can bring them in. But definitely Cornell West. I'm Cornell West all the way. Thank you so much for pulling up, Queen. You take care.
You too.
Peace and love, beloved. Panther Strike. Peace and love to you, warrior. How you doing? Still can't hear you, brother. I know. Take the headset out. Can you take the headset out? Yeah, like, can you unplug your headset? Because maybe it's the headset, and I know how sometimes that happens to me with my headset. Like, you got to go into your. There you go. I started hearing something. You may have to go into your sound settings. He said, "I'll be right back." I heard some like you were trying to fix it. Yep, it sounded like you were trying to fix something. So you may have to just take the headset out, or if you could rejoin from like your cell phone or something like that. If you want, you rejoin from your cell phone and click on the link. I can't hear you, brother. Try to rejoin from your cell phone and come back in, because I do want to hear what you have to say. All right, beloved. Peace and love to you. Yeah, last night was a trip. And let me tell you one thing that I noticed about both candidates. The moderators asked them, and I do agree with Sister Shania. She said it seemed like they were a bit more biased towards Kamala, and it seemed like they were trying to come off objective, but they were leaning more towards her, even though they tried to present as if they were, objective. But let me tell you something that I did notice. They asked both Trump and Kamala, even Kamala. I'll begin with Kamala. They asked her, now that we've seen the influx of immigrants or migrants, would you have done things differently back then? Because you all kind of opened up the border. Would you do things differently? I noticed that, neither of the candidates, even Trump, when they asked him about January 6th, you did this, you said this, you tweeted this. If you had to do it all over again, would you do things differently? I noticed that for both candidates, neither one of them, could say, hey, you know what? We made a bad call on this, or I was wrong for this. Neither one of them, none of them held themselves accountable for what they did. Did you all notice that? And I'm talking about both Trump and Kamala. I noticed that on both sides when they were asked a question, well, if you could do this over again, would you? They stood 10 toes down on their actions. No one took accountability for their actions. No one said, you know what? If I had to do that over again, I would have done this differently. So what I saw was a lot of ego, and I saw a lack of humility. And see, those aren't good characteristics, in my opinion, of a leader, right? Because a leader possesses or has or operates with self-accountability. And they say, well, yeah, you know what? I was wrong for that. If I had to do that over again, I would have done this, right? All of them, like both of them, stood 10 toes down on the decisions that they made. And that kind of rubbed me wrong. The different shots that they took at each other, him calling her weak, her saying, people don't come to your rally. I mean, that stuff is immature stuff. It was very immature. I also noticed that, and this is just in my opinion, it doesn't seem like neither of them really answered the questions that were being asked. It was like they will be asked a question, and even after they answered it, I'm still stuck. Like, he didn't really answer the question. Trump is a master at doing that. I was like, he didn't really answer the question. Then I'm looking at her and I'm like, she didn't really answer the question. And then I went back, like I actually rewinded the debate a few times when I was watching it on YouTube this morning. Because I watched 35 minutes of it last night, fell asleep, woke back up again and watched the entire debate. So I kept on like rewinding it and going back just to make sure I wasn't missing something, right? Because sometimes you listen to something and someone says something, you're like, you didn't quite process it correctly. So I said, well, let me go back. Some of those questions went unanswered. They gave an answer, but it wasn't an answer really to the question, right? It was really a shot at each other. And I did notice that. I'm trying to look in the chat. Peace to the family. We're talking about the debate last night, if that's what you want to call it. I'm going to throw the StreamYard link in the chat. What you say, Mr. Brandon? I'm looking. Because someone's like, that's right, Brandon. Hold on. D said that her plan is geared towards immigrants. Shania said it's like being in the middle of a domestic violence call. At the end of the day, both parties are both dangerous and can't be trusted, and both have ties together. That's a fact. They're under the same system. That is a fact. Betty Jenkins said, so where's all this free money coming from? Absolutely. And they'll say, hey, she said, I'm going to dump billions of dollars. Now, she said that she raised some of this money from tech companies. Big corporations are donating some of their assets. So that's how they're going to raise some of this money. And then, like you said, the other billions, where are you getting it from? And so you'll tell us that there's no money for reparations, but you pour billions from places where you want to pull it from. So I agree, Ms. Betty Jenkins. Yep. EMAC said they glossed right over Israel. I'm glad that you mentioned Israel. Did you all notice last night during the debate that Kamala reiterated Israel has the right to defend themselves? They have the right to defend themselves, and I'm going to support them. It's like she had to. Someone said on Facebook, both parties had to kiss the ring when it comes to Israel. They were like, both parties have to kiss the ring. Did you notice that even at the DNC, and I listened to Kamala very carefully at the DNC, she doubled down that, hey, I support Israel, and I'm going to make sure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself, and she kept saying that. But did you notice that is never the same energy for Palestine? Like, we want to make sure that that Palestine has the right to defend themselves if somebody attacked them as well. Did you notice that? It was just Israel, Israel, Israel. And let me tell you what happened at the DNC. And I see you, brother, Panther Strike in the back. So I'll be letting you on right after I finish this point. At the DNC, they brought on stage the family of an Israeli hostage. They brought him on. They brought the family on stage to speak. There were some Palestinian Americans there at the DNC whose family members are also hostages, and they denied them a platform to speak. See, that's why. And I had this conversation with my mother. I said, and I'm telling y'all, I don't have a dog in the fight. My thing is my people, and just people being truthful with our people. Be truthful. We live in a very undemocratic society. So I find it hilarious when I hear them say things like, we got to save democracy. And we live in a very undemocratic society. Very undemocratic. Panther Strike, I'm going to let you in, brother. Peace and love to you. I see you, brother. Peace and love.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I hear you, my
Can
brother.
you hear me?
I hear you now, my brother. What are your thoughts?
There was a couple of things. Let's back up, if we can, quickly to the Megan Thee Stallion debacle. When I saw that that so-called rally, it began again with me the disrespect. When you approach a people that have been the foundation of whatever it is that you have that has propelled you to greatness, has made you millionaires, that have done this, that, and the other without bending the knee, that is total disrespect. This thing about approaching us in this sexualized manner, I don't have anything against Megan Thee Stallion. I have something. My problem is how they come at us, expecting us to propel them when they have not come correct with us. And still, Dr. Mayan, I saw a graphic a few months ago that my father showed me about 7 to 8 years ago. It was a graphic of the Black support the Democratic Party since 1936. 1936. It showed that the percentage rate of support by the Black community for the Democrats on 80, 73, 80, 60, 69, 87. we've come this far since 1936. What have we received?
Mm.
We get to the point, Maya, that we have a black woman, the first black woman president. We've gotten to this point, but it's something that I think everybody should pay attention to. When they when they threw in the support for Kamala Harris, remember, they didn't go to Kamala first. They were looking at Gavin Newsom. They were looking at Gavin Newsom. They were looking at Michelle Obama. So she's the constellation prize.
Oh,
And the question that that's what it is. She's the constellation prize. So now they dressed her up. They cosplay. She's cosplaying. She's dressed up. She's at a debate with the man who's already been president. And we're supposed to believe that she can hold her own. Listen, this isn't beating up on a woman. This is beating up on a woman who has been beating up on us for quite some time in California. And all of the listeners who can hear me, I know you know this, Dr. Maya. She's had a past with the Black community. But the $54,000 question here is, sisters. I'm talking to the sisters now. Is this the example of a strong woman that you should be voting for? Is she the example with her past, home wrecking, police corruption, turning a blind eye to police corruption, forensic scientists, tainting evidence, keeping Black men and women in prison, using Black men to fight fires, to save white homes in California, all of this stuff. The question is, this woman that we saw last time, the white woman for the job.
Oh, you breaking up real bad, brother. Brother Panther Strike, you breaking up real bad, man.
Really
I don't
bad.
know. Yeah, you were breaking up really, really bad. Are you on like a headset?
Yeah, I had to resort to my headset. I don't know what's going on with my but I'll try it again.
Yeah, let's try it again, brother. And like, yeah, because it keeps breaking up, and you're saying some really, really good stuff, but then it's kind of like it's really choppy, and then 1 minute is clear, then 1 minute is choppy.
Okay.
So try to fix that and come back in,
Doctor.
brother. Okay. All right. Peace and love. Yeah, the brother was saying some good stuff. And I see Avril 2940. You said the first time homeowner thing has a big catch, which is when you read it, it says, yes, it says first generation, first time home owner. Yeah, my co-host, Brother T Wolo, Brother JT Coins, he and I covered that like 2 weeks ago, and that's what we were talking about. It does say first generation, and then I want you to do the math, right? She's saying $25,000, right? The down home payment, but it comes with a couple of stipulations. One, you have to be a first generation, first time home buyer. Two, you have to have paid your rent on time every month for 2 years. Think about this. It's 2024. That means since 2022, so from 2022 to 2024, or if she implements it in 2025, it will be from 2025 all the way back to 2023. You have to make sure that you pay your rent on time. That's really hard when you live in an American society where most people are living from paycheck to paycheck. You know, to say that you paid your rent on time every month for 24 months, that's very hard in an economy, right, where you're dealing with inflation. And then you also dealing with, we live in paycheck to paycheck. Think about that. You live in paycheck to paycheck, and it's inflation going on. It's inflation. And you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you have to pay your rent. So you got to be, again, a first generation, first time home buyer, pay your rent on time for 24 months. And it was one more thing. It was one more stipulation I can't think of right now. And then you qualify for the 25,000. But then if you think about this, let's do some simple math. I live in Baltimore. let's say the median value for a home in Baltimore, and I'll do Baltimore City. You know, we being gentrified right now. The median sale price for a home in Baltimore City is $238,000. So we can round that, guys. I mean, I'm just looking at it. It's saying 238K. I see 220K, 224K, 240K. All right. So I'm seeing some of it. It's varying. I see 241, 215. So let's just say 240, right? Let's just say 240K median sale value for a home. You have to put down 20% on a home. Someone tell me in the chat, what's 20% of 240,000? What's that? We should know it's $48,000. I just want somebody to throw it in the chat. But go ahead and check behind your sister. Check behind your sister. And thank you, Daryl Jackson. He said in credit scores. E-Max said in Cali, that ain't even in the hood. Facts. But we talking in Baltimore because I want to do something. I want to do something. So 240K, Baltimore City, they're saying that's the median sale price is 240K. So we take 20% of that. 20% of that will get us $48,000. So she hands you $25,000, which means you got to come up with $23,000. Now let's look at the median income of Black people, specifically in Baltimore City. Median income, Baltimore City, African Americans. Let's just look real quick. I'm in Data USA. They got the population diversity, telling you how many Black people, how many white people. Shoot, I don't even got to focus just on Black folks. Let me go back. The median income, it says the median household income for Baltimore City in 2022 was $58,000. Now, notice I said it's $48,000. That's what you got to come to the table with. She gives you $25,000. You got to come up with $23,000. But wait a minute. Your median household income is $58,000. Wait a minute. What about taxes? That's your income. That's what you're bringing in. What about your taxes? What about Social Security? What about all of that stuff? So how are you going to save? How are you going to save? Come on, family. I think you know where I'm going at. How are you going to save that other $23,000 in your household? Yeah, the median household income is $58,000. And out of that, you got to pay taxes and all of your bills. Everything comes out of that $58,000. And then you got to save up $23,000 to match that $25,000 in order to get that $48,000 payment for your $240,000 house. So when you start putting numbers behind it, the math ain't mathing. When you start putting numbers behind it, the math ain't really mathing. And hold on, y'all. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for those of you who coming in. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Join me. We're talking about last night's debate, but I did want to address a real 2940's comment. I see some people, E-Mac is talking about Cornell West. I'm loving Cornell West. I see Brandon Hughes says celebrities people think they are heroes. Secret Weapon says that strategic and appeal to younger, maybe less politically knowledgeable, savvy audience. Absolutely. They in the chat arguing. Betty Jenkins says Black celebrities are not my heroes and never be. Ashe. Daryl Jackson said, who won? Kamala Harris and the moderators. Brother Daryl Jackson, click the link and come on in. He said, who won? Kamala Harris and the moderators. Yeah, Trump was all over the place. Trump was entertainment last night. Trump was just entertainment last night. Trump was entertainment last night. Black some said you still have the option of bank loans. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can get bank loans. But in order to get those bank loans, man, you gotta come to the table with something, man, and you gotta have a credit score. You gotta qualify. You gotta come with that down payment, that 20%. D Hill Films Work says there are grants in every state to help with down payments. They don't have to be paid back. Oh, we know that. You have to do your homework. Who doesn't know about the grants? D Hill, we know about the grants, but you got to qualify for the grants. You have to apply for the grants. So just let's not act like because you qualify, because you apply for a grant that you're automatically going to get it. You have to apply for it, and hopefully you get it, right? Hopefully you get it. In D Hill Film Works, you can come on over here on YouTube and join me. I got the link in the chat. You can hop on and give your 2 cents, your 2 or 3 cents. Yep, I said no accountability earlier. Absolutely. Shania, yep, I said that they did not answer the questions. Yeah, no accountability. Yeah, no humility. I saw a lot of ego, and none of those are good qualities for a leader. Not at all. Melanated Cafe, hop on if you can. It says neither will be a good for Black community. Hey, absolutely, Black American communities. No matter which way you go, neither of them will be good for Black Americans. That's why I just don't get why you have a lot of Black Americans going so hard for Kamala. I just don't understand why so many of us are going so hard. Neither of those candidates are going to be good for Black America. Neither of them. So I keep hearing folks say, well, I just don't want Trump to be in office. I'd rather have Kamala in office. Okay. But neither of them are going to be good for Black Americans anyway. But folks are going hard in the paint for Kamala. They're raising money. They're online. They're getting mad with you if you say one bad thing about her. It really reminds me of the Barack Obama days. Remember with Black folks, you couldn't say anything negative about Barack Obama. You couldn't criticize him. You couldn't critique him. He was like the coming of Christ. And I'm telling you, that's how Black folks treated him. They said the dream has been realized once he became the president. Remember, everything was Malcolm had a dream. The dream has been realized. And you could not say anything to Black people about Barack. And he got in there, and in 8 years, the Black community stayed in the same exact position. Black folks organized, they stomped the ground, they voted. I remember I was there too. I was in there in 2008. I was out there. The lines were wrapped around the corner. Black folks came out in droves to make sure that we voted for him, not once, but twice. We voted for him in 2008, and we turned around, did the same thing in 2012. And Barack Obama did nothing for Black folks. Nothing for Black folks. Now Black folks can criticize him, overtly. But before, you couldn't say anything about Barack. The same type of energy is happening with Kamala. You can't say nothing about Kamala. You get into a debate. Well, what about Trump? And then he say, vote for that. If you don't vote for Kamala, then you voted for Trump. They start doing all that type of stuff. A lot of that is going on, and I agree with the Melanated Cafe. Peace and love to you, Warrior. How are you?
Oh, hey, how's everything going? Peace and Black.
Peace and Black power to you. Peace and Black power to you. But you said something in the chat. You said, I don't think that either of the candidates are good for the Black community. Could you expound on that, brother?
I mean, first of all, with Kamala Harris or whatever, however you pronounce her name these days, I'm of the opinion, after thinking about it, that I don't think that Kamala Harris is Black. And I think that that's a really tricky question, because to us, when we say Black, it's deeper than just your skin color. It's a culture, it's a way of thinking, it's a modality, it's the recognition of one another when we see one another. Her claim to fame as far as being Black goes, she says that she's Jamaican. Where's her Jamaican family? We all have been around Caribbean family. They are a unit. Okay, the father not in the picture. You don't have a cousin, a brother, an auntie, an uncle. Where is this blackness except for HBCU? I don't think that she represents us. Just listening to her speak. So now I'm trying to figure out what she codes switching at the Megan Thee Stallion rally, or was you code switching last night, because they sound like two different people, and how they enunciated, how she enunciated her words and her lingo, two different types of speeches. So which one is the real her?
Mm.
Another thing is problematic, and this is more so reflecting on us, is that we beat up on black men for dating white women, marrying white women. I'm trying to figure out, how does this woman get a complete pass where everything around her is white, and so is she black? Melanated, scientific, DNA wise. I apologize for any background noise. I'm at work.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening. Mm.
There's nothing other than her skin tone. There is nothing black about her. There's no black American experience. Her talking points isn't our talking points. We know what Trump is. Trump is an equal accountability a-hole. He doesn't just be a-holes to black people, but if a white reporter jump out there and say something, he got words for anybody that got words for him. He got words for. We lived through 4 years of Trump. We know what he brings to the table, but to sell your point on, we got to get this man out of office, when you've been in office for 4 years. What did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris doing? Let's go deeper. The black community has relatively remained the same since the Reagan era. No president has done anything to tangibly change the dynamics of the black community, or actually put in that effort that we see, that we hear about. So neither one is good for the black community. And I think that at this point in time, we understand this is a system of white supremacy. It's a system, regardless of who represents that system, they're never going to do us justice, which is a shame, because America is going to go down until they do right by the earth's firstborn.
Mm.
You do right by black people in America, this country will forever be divided. We will keep facing catastrophe after catastrophe. And who knows, the climate, the weather climate might be directly related to how they treat us. Because when we talk about the divine, when we talk about the spiritual, we know what they say about messing with their elect, messing with their chosen, messing with their children. And what we're saying now is a result of 400, no, not 400, 500, but thousands of years of one race waging war on an entire planet.
Mm.
They just changed it. Okay, we don't see samurai swords. The Japanese, they say they still have a samurai class. We don't see the samurai sword. They translated that discipline into business. We no longer see cowboys, but we see sheriffs and police, etc. We no longer see Klansmen. We see slick talking devils.
Right.
That try to trick us into this. And I think also social media plays a part into it, the media, everything that we do, because there's obvious questions that no one is asking. They're talking all of, what are you going to do for black people? Oh, we're going to lift all boats. But if you lift all boats, the disparity is just going to be the same. The distance hasn't closed. It's just, we just elevated all the way.
That part right there. The disparities, like you said, it's going to be the same. What you would just say, it's going to be the disparity is going to be the same. Like you said, if we just lift everybody like this, you will never close the gap. We'll never close the gap. And to be honest with you, I don't think they want to close the gap. I don't think that that's their intention. They want to hold on to the resources, wealth, and power. And that's what this thing is about. You know, I remember Dr. Cornel West, he was just being interviewed on a platform, and I forget the name of the platform, but he said that's what it's about. Who's going to control the resources, wealth, and power? All the other stuff is smoke and mirrors, abortion, the border, the war, Russia, you know, the Israel and Palestine, Ukraine and Russia. He said all that other stuff is like, that's smoke and mirrors. Like What it's about is who's going to control the resources, wealth, and power. And that's what this thing is about. And so they don't want to close the gap, because think about this. When Dr. King was assassinated, right, in 68,
Mhm.
as long as he was pushing for social integration, he was fine. He was called a nigga. He was thrown in jail. You get what I'm saying? He was thrown in jail, called a nigga. Somebody tried. I think they stabbed him at one rally or one march. He was in a march. So sick dogs on him. So they did stuff like that. But they but when he started calling for a redistribution of resources, wealth, and power, woo, boy, they was like, it's time to get him out of here. When
Now, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm just
Oh,
saying. So they want to hold on to that. So they don't want to close the gap. I don't think they don't want to close the gap. They didn't even mention anything about reparations last night. Nothing at all. But go ahead, brother.
no, but another thing that you mentioned, Cornel West, he's, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with his philosophies, he is a black illuminary. He was a household name, just like Dick Gregory. His track record in this country is proven right, wrong, or indifferent. Why is the black media, especially in the black personalities that's on air, the big people, why they're not talking about Cornel West? Why isn't the Breakfast Club stomping for Cornel West? You had him on your show several times. It's almost like he's even, they say, oh, it's not about Kamala, forget Kamala, whatever she's doing. We got to keep Trump out of office. Well, we have another viable option than Dr. Cornel West, who has a better track record, dare I say. And it's funny about Martin Luther King, because soon as the new black media and the conscious community start digging in them files and start putting out the cut, we coming for our checks, they don't use Martin Luther King like they used to in yesteryears no more. They kind of starting to fade him away into the background.
Yep.
Ever since, I fear that he said, how did he say? I fear that I've integrated my people into a burning building.
Yep.
The fire never went out. It's 2024 and they keep repackaging and rebranding. It's the same old issues. It's violence in our community. They could use that as a pigeonhole, but we know that violence is just a symptom of a greater disease. Usually where there's poverty, there is crime. Until you address the poverty first, there will always be crime and violence. Stop trying to cure the symptom, come out with these little grants. I'm here in DC. All of the home buyers in DC, when they're black skin, they're immigrants. They are Africans. These new houses, and just to put some numbers out there, according to any poll you look at, if you look up the cost of living in DC, the cost of living in DC just to live an okay life is $80,000 a year. The average white household medium income is 100-something thousand. The average black household income is around 49-50,000. We're being out this city to where we're over reliant on government resources to help the ends meet. But without those resources, we will literally be priced out. And we've seen waves of where DC has said, hey, okay, pack up, here's your vouchers. Go to North Carolina, go to South Carolina, go to Baltimore County, go to Atlanta. That's causing a lot of that migrations, because a lot of people is going into migrations with them vouchers because they no longer can afford to live in these cities, even though they're equally qualified. What they say, black women are the largest demographic of college degrees. Am I correct on that?
That's what they say.
Well, if they say that, then how is white women and black women who has the same qualifications, salaries isn't matching? So, I mean, our country is in trouble, and until we as a people begin to really rally and really hammer down, and first in our own communities. That's weird to me when someone is internationally known, nationally known, active, but you don't have no roots in the city that you're from. That's why Kamala won't talk about California. How does California feel about Kamala? Don't hide them. Matter of fact, Kamala, Where's your HBCU buddies that can really speak?
That can vouch for you, vouch for your character, vouch for your work, in the community. I'm with you. And you know what people are trying to say too? They're like, well, if she ain't black, she did have the black experience because she went to a HBCU. And I was telling folks, just because you've gone and you've been around black folks, I should have. That's what they've been saying. They're like, even if she ain't black, she went to a HBCU, so she has experience. I hate to say too, black experience, but experience. The black, she has gotten the black experience. But I'm like, I had, there are some white students, some non-black students, white, Arabs, Indians who go to HBCUs. And so putting you in close proximity of black people doesn't mean you're getting the black experience. But I want to land your plane there. I see D Hill said they were trying to get in. D Hill, is your name MJ2 backstage? Let me see if this D Hill. MG2. MG2 is this D Hill?
No, Sister Maat.
So who's this?
Yeah, this is MG2.
But you're not D Hill from D Hill Filmworks that I was looking at in the IG.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
All right, brother. Go ahead. You have the floor. What are your thoughts?
I appreciate you taking my call, and I gotta thank you. I've been listening to you for a while, especially with Professor Malamu K. Baruti.
Okay. So you come to. I got you. I hear you. So I kind of know your school of thought. Absolutely. Appreciate your words, brother. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Phenomenal Jegna. Jegna. But what are your thoughts, brother, on the debate? If you don't want to talk about the debate and you didn't have a chance to watch it, Kamala, Trump, what are your thoughts, brother?
I watched it, and it was unfortunately I didn't have my bag of popcorn. It was one of the most, I have to give folks, at least from the last 50 some years that I've seen in United States' so-called political environment, I'm gonna give you some foundation. First off, I look back like that book, 2000 Seasons, and I see our relationship as Africans with Europeans, and what they call New Europe now is these colonized areas, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and whatnot. And the thing is Europeans will always make a society for themselves, okay, irrespective of what it is. That's just the nature of what I call econo-ethnic protectionism. They will always do that for themselves. One thing that African people, or I should say anyone around the world, who, whenever they've faced these, for lack of a better term, these opportunistic individuals called Europeans, they've always been subjugated, marginalized. It doesn't matter. That's just the nature. It's no different than a virus. And the European has definitely, proven itself, not by evidence, not by facts, not by history, not by truth or whatever. Because remember, beauty, truth, history, facts, and evidence are in the eye of the beholder. But the record never changes. The Europeans' record has shown, or as Dr. Africa said, follow the trail of blood. Their record has shown that they had clearly are not only opportunistic, but they're no different than a virus. And the thing is about whether it's America, which I call it with the 3 Ks, or any other area, one thing that I noticed as an African is they will always make their environment, whether it's social, economic, security, i.e. militaristic, so-called culture, educational, and definitely political environment is always going to be to their advantage, never to ours. That's just the nature of the game. That's why they took our ancestors and literally destroyed everything, all the African out of them, so therefore they could use them. That's just a European, again, it's a virus. The thing is, as an African person, it took me about over 50, almost 60 years to figure this out. As an African, one thing that I know in trying to make a home or rationalize what these beasts are and what they can do, what they're capable of, or as Dr. Amos Wilson said many a time, you act on their capabilities. One thing that I know is I kind of related parallelism to like a mouse trying to live in a snake den. As an African trying to live in a snake den, what is the relationship between Africans and Europeans? No different than a mouse and a snake. The snake will always try to consume it. That's just the nature of that snake. So when I looked at, I'm giving you foundation as to what I think about their so-called debate. And I say theirs, because my frame of reference is not European, because I know this is their society, not mine. This is their country, not mine. This is their so-called social environment. I call antisocial. It's not mine as an African. So the thing that I had to tell myself many a time is using that frame of reference. I say, wait a minute. With their, and I say it again, their so-called debates, no different than their media, their education system, their government, whatever. I said, anything that they put in front of you is going to be for their advantage, whether it's a crotch-grabbing Trump or this lackey by the name of Kamala. Doesn't matter. Okay, that's just the nature of how they exist in order to marginalize us. That's why when it comes to reparations, when it comes to programs or whatever, I look at their so-called government or their so-called debates as something that I can use as an African. Not because I want to go ahead and enrich or support their society, no, so I can destroy it. So I can see it go and burn in the hell that it should. That's just the nature of my African mentality. Everything that they do, I want to destroy. Even if I live in the same town, I want it gone. No different than what they did to us in Wilmington, what they did to us at the Devil's Punch Bowl, Elaine, Houston, Texas, Black Wall Street, Rosewood, it doesn't matter. I want theirs to burn. It's just the nature of just what again, econo-ethnic protectionism. We as an African people, as Dr. John Henrik Clarke said, it's like the sand fighting the sea and the sea forever pushing against us. That's just the nature. It's something that is always going to happen. It will never change. I can never stop a skunk from stinking unless I kill it. So it's no different than the nature of this species that has always been competitive against us, whether it's what happened to Sonia Massey, whether it happens to Tamir Rice. It's just the nature of existence. So when it comes to their so-called debates, and I say theirs, because the thing is looking at that, I say, how can I use this? I know anything that they do is not going to be to my advantage, but how do I make it my advantage? As I always tell folks, I've been teaching and lecturing for a while, everything that the European does will either be a lesson, a weapon, or a tool. And if you don't use one of those, then you'll have to throw it out. But everything should be that. And then not a lesson, a weapon, or a tool to enrich their society so we can say, oh, we got Black wealth and we built this and we got these homes. No, it's to destroy them. Because if you look internationally, every other country around the world that is in conflict with the Western so-called European crackers or whatever, every other country, including their friends Russia, are using them as a weapon, tool, or lesson because they know they're always going to be forever in conflict. It's one of the things that when I saw that so-called debate, like I said, I didn't have my popcorn. I don't look at the macro in terms of what Kamala didn't do or what Democrats didn't do or how they looked or what others said or what others felt. I looked at it as everything that they say, even if the capability of what they say is going to be something that's going to be a weapon against me that I can use against them. It doesn't matter what it is. I will always second guess everything they do, how they dress, what they look like, what they say. It doesn't matter. It's no different like a lion that looks at a hyena. It does not like to rationalize what that hyena is going to do and why it hasn't paid them off reparations. The lion says, as Dr. Bobby E. Wright said, blood debts must be paid in blood. And that's the thing that hopefully that we as African people, whether we're in Somalia, whether we're what happened over there in Kenya, whether we're living in Kentucky, from Tanzania to Texas, it doesn't matter. As we as an African people can start thinking like the lion thinks when it sees a hyena, then whatever they do in their elections, Dr. Maat, whatever they say and whatever they think will not be something we use as our frame of reference to, well, they haven't given us that and they haven't done that. They haven't. No, it'll be something we'll say, oh, we expect it. We actually know what they're going to do. We'll be able to forecast it and then we'll be able to destroy them. I'm not here to make America great in any aspect. I'm here to see it burn. And that's just because I know what the capability of what they've done to us. One of the things that I could always tell you, and listen to the lexicon of people when you talk. And I tell this to all my young Africans. Like I said, it took over 60 years for me to figure this out. Listen to the words when they are explaining something that someone else does. They'll say the government, the military, the media, the entertainment. Whenever somebody uses that qualifier word, that's an absolute term. That means anything on the other side of it that's law. Ain't nothing going to change. Here's what I mean. When I say their military or their government, why do I say that? Because if I told you, Dr. Maat, go in the other room and get me the chair, you know that there's nothing in there but that chair. If I say go get me their chair or a chair, you know there's a choice. That's where I mean by frame of reference. When it came to their so-called debate, And I'm sorry for being very loquacious, but I got to. When it came to their so-called debate, this is nothing more than a way to showcase and corral more Black folks through emotionalism and through hope and through unfortunate aspect of not looking further than what they see in front of their, just the surface mounted emotion. It's to corral them into thinking that this United Snakes is still theirs when it never will be, never has been, and never should be, unless we want to burn it. Thank you for letting me talk to you there, Dr. Maat. And
Hold on. Before you go, hold on, brother. Hold on.
Fire! 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 Fire!
I love the fire.
Man, you came and just tore this conversation up. I love. Soon as you mentioned Bible Baruti, I already knew. I said, I already know where this brother's going. I already know where, the school of thought you were coming from. Brother, I thank you for coming to share your thoughts. You came strong, you came powerful, and you came very informative. It's nothing like engaging with an intellectual, strong, Black African man. And so thank you very much, brother, for pulling up.
Thank you,
me,
Dr.
okay?
Maat.
Thank you. You take care. You take care,
You
warrior. All right. Peace and love. Mousy, are you there? Uh-oh. Mousy, are you there? Getting ready to go to the next person. Mousy, are you there? O'Bannon? No. Panther Strike, are you there? I had some people backstage. I'm up here looking, man. That brother came in. Darlene X said, who is this guy? Oh, you there, Panther Strike. All right, Panther Strike, you back?
All right. Can you hear me, Dr. Maat?
I hear you now, warrior. Let's go. Let's go. That brother, I don't know if you caught the brother that just got off.
I heard every word of it.
As soon as he mentioned Bible Baruti, I already knew. And then he started hitting us with the giants, Dr. Clark, Dr. Amos Wilson. I already knew he was going to come in tight. You could tell that he definitely studied the work of our ancestors and elders. And not only study, but he practices it. His whole mindset. He said it took him 60 years to figure it out, and he was tight.
Exactly.
Tight. We need more warriors like that. But go ahead, brother Panther Strike. You have the floor, brother.
Thank you. With all of that said, and when I was trying to speak earlier, I was asking the question of the women folk, including yourself, Dr. Maat. Is this the correct, is Kamala Harris, Kamala, whatever, is she the correct candidate for us? Is she the example that Black women should take cues from? Is this the woman? Okay, if you're going to sit up and say that she's a Black woman, she's a Black woman, she's a Black woman, she's a Black woman, and yet we have and I know that everybody saw this when the moderator had interjected with that about first, I think he said something about Obama's birth certificate or questioning Obama's, nationality. It was the moderator that brought that issue up. But I found that if she wanted to claim her Blackness, that would have been the perfect time to say, well, wait a minute now, I am Black. Okay. She did not say one thing when that was a hot moment last night.
Where she could have stood 10 toes down on it,
right?
Because but remember, she didn't do that in her CNN interview.
No, she did not.
She sat down with Tim Waltz and the other. I think it was, I forgot the white lady name. What her name is? I forgot her name.
Right. Blonde hair.
Yeah, blonde hair. Yeah. But and I didn't like how they chopped that interview into 3 parts, 10, 15 minutes
exactly.
apiece. I didn't like that. But exactly. She asked her the question then, and she said, I'll pass. I don't want to speak on it. Then they asked Trump again last night. She could have responded to that, but she was just like, nah, I'm not even going to nah. But she could have stood, she could have said, look, this is my identity. This is how I identify. But she didn't address it last night, and she didn't address it during the CNN interview.
Exactly. And we've been inundated with Kamala Harris for the past 3+ years. And what I think that most of us are questioning, wait a minute, okay, so you've been around for 3+ years. The other last night, I have a plan, I have a plan, I have a plan. And I'm reading comments online. I'm reading comments online from the Kamala sexuals. Oh no, don't talk, don't say that, and this and that. And I was, having a back and forth with one guy. I said just what Trump said. I said, listen, if she's supposed to be this black savior, the black whisperer, the black this, that, and the other, but yet she would not take for a second to identify herself as what she's supposed to be, one of us. Okay, you refuse to answer the question twice. But if she's supposed to be this person that to be rammed down our throats and told to go out and vote for, but for what? That's just it. For what? What is it that you're trying to be the shepherd? We're supposed to be the sheep. Okay, you're leading us to where, to where, and for what? And that's the question that I'm asking the women. Is this the woman that you would say that's a strong sister right there? Is this the woman that you would say, I wish my brother had married her? Yeah, something.
Right. I'm with you.
Right, something solid to go by. Before I got cut off, I don't know if you heard me. Her record with us, just black people, is very sketchy, extremely sketchy. I know that politics are politics. But when I first learned about Kamala Harris, it was back in 2005, I do believe. I had never seen a picture about her, a picture of her ever until 2005, 2006. My father had, we were just reading through the paper and we were online just messing around. He said, "Oh, Kamala Harris, where does she come from?" But the thing is that the steps that she had taken to get to this point, again, my black queens, the steps that she took to get here, to get to last night, for the highest office in the nation, is that the individual that you would tailor your female children after? Is she that person? And I say no. I say no. As a black man, as a father, divorced, but as a man that knows what a black woman is, the essence of a black woman. I come from a black woman. My grandmothers are black. Everybody black. That the examples of excellence. My aunt that just died was a surgical nurse up at Cleveland Clinic. My father praised his sister, and I did too, and just as my mother. But can I honestly say that she would be someone that I would throw my unrelenting support behind, knowing her past and knowing where she is today? Okay, I just saw the tally for the Israeli fund, I call it. Today, since 2022, it is $180 billion. 100 folks, did y'all hear me? $180 billion since year before last that has been freely given to the Israelis. Dr. Maat, you said about 10 minutes ago, I ain't got no dog in this fight.
I did. And I'm wondering, look, on IG, they keep saying, well, they not saying anything about Trump. The first 20, 30 minutes we were talking about Trump, and now we've been talking about Trump. So it's called listening comprehension. Go ahead, brother.
Exactly. We folks, if you're late coming in, just don't be disrespectful and telling us what we haven't been doing. Just sit back and listen.
That's
I'll be done in a minute. $180 billion. That's a quarter of a trillion, damn near. And the flack that we get, the backlash that we get about a debt that this country owes us. The Ukraine war, Vladimir Putin, year before I left Texas, I saw a picture, a satellite image of the military convoy that Vladimir Putin had ordered to the Russian-Ukraine border. My sources back in DC said, strike no. It was bigger than that.
Wow.
The graphics, the caption read 40-mile-long military convoy ordered by President Putin. Dr. Maat and folks, I'm getting to a point here. Dr. Maat and folks, that convoy was 60 to 70 miles long. This is a man, this is where we are today. This is a man that ordered thousands of men and military hardware in a convoy almost 100 miles long. So we are here now under this administration. I'm checking out some comments here. Under this administration, the woman that stood next to Trump, trying to passionately get her point across and taking jabs at him, she's been sitting in the White House, in the Oval Office with Biden. And what backlash has she given Biden? Say, hey, listen, man, this proxy war that you're fighting with just Ukraine alone is costly. This is about dollars and cents. So this diversion that I really think that this proxy war is a diversion because of us, Dr. Maat, because the Black community has said, the Black grassroots has said, wait a minute, you're not going to get away that easily. We are not going to remain silent. We are not going to just shut up and vote. Or what was that? Saucy Santana? No vax, no. You know what?
I remember. I remember that. I remember
that nasty approach to a people that has propped you up damn near 100 years. And when we say, wait a minute, there's a debt that you owe me. Oh no, we gotta support Israel.
Yep, and that's what she said.
Maybe you can enlighten me on that issue, and I'll close right there with the Israel question. What are we getting in return? Since 2022, $180 billion given your tax money, mine, these people I'm reading in the comments section, tax dollars that could be going towards communities, our communities. What have we received in doing so? What will we receive if this woman, the woman that stood before the world last night, is elected into the highest office? What will we receive? Now I know that they'll say, well, what are you going to get when Trump gets there? I tell you what, I'll take the consolation prize if he closes the border. I'll take that. But the work that we have is very simple. We don't owe anybody anything. They owe us. They owe us. Please keep that in mind, people. Thank you for letting me rant. It's a pleasure.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
the reparations rally, Dr. Maat. You spoke so eloquently and powerful. I love that.
Thank you so much, Brother Panther Strike. And I appreciate all your wisdom and just you gave a lot of food for thought while you were talking. I know the questions that you asked were like rhetorical questions, but it was just, you gave us a lot of food for thought. You like, well, what you want, is this the standard or the representation for Black women, a Black woman? Should Black men throw all their weight behind this type of, of this woman, quote unquote Black woman? And so I love it. I love what you said. I love how you started off with, you know, she had the opportunity last night to nip all of that in the bud, like to address all of that stuff. Is she black? Is she not black? She could have did it right there on the stage, and she chose not to. You know, did you notice last night she emphasized, she reiterated or emphasized that she's like, I'm the president for all people. I'm going to be the president for everybody. Like, and she's been saying that a whole lot. You know, so now she's not saying I'm not doing anything specifically for black people, but she's letting it be known that I am the president. I mean, the president of the United States is the president of all people, right? So yeah, it's supposed to be. I get that, but she's reiterating that a whole lot to let you know that no, I ain't just looking at, you know, yeah, I am thinking about everybody, and as the president of the United States, she should, but she has to also consider the different ethnicities that are here in the U.S. and understand that different ethnicities have different needs. And so the Black American community or African American community, I know everybody, some people are saying foundational Black American or ADOS, but we have certain needs because of systemic racism, because of our experiences right here in America. So while you are the president of everybody in the U.S., I get that. You do have to understand while you're creating policies and laws that that America is an amalgamation of various ethnic groups, and all of us have all of us have specific needs due to our experiences here in America, and those needs need to be addressed as our president. Thank you so much, Brother Panther Strike, for coming on. Peace and Black excellence to you. Mousy, Sister Mousy,
hey.
the Queen Mother's in the building. Peace to you, beloved. How are you doing, Queen Mother? Go ahead. You have the floor. What were your thoughts about the debate? And if you didn't watch it, what are your thoughts about Kamala and Donald Trump? What are your thoughts?
Well, I didn't see the whole debates because we was out here cleaning up the community yesterday till about 8 o'clock last night.
All right. All right.
When he got to the part about the dogs and the cats, I said, it's time to go.
You said when he said over in Springfield they're eating our dogs. He said they're eating our cats, and the moderator was like, "Sir, it's no evidence of that." You know, he spoke to somebody over there. You know, he's like, you know, someone on the ground. You know, everything. And Trump said, "Well, I saw it on the TV. They're eating dogs and cats in Springfield." Trump, I'm trying to tell you, he was a character. But go ahead, I want to hear your thoughts. He was hilarious last night. I just laughed.
Yeah, you're right. He was entertainment tonight. Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
And one thing I do say, whether she's black or white or what have you, I'm glad that she looked her part, right? Because I said, there's no way that this man went to a university. I know people out here on the streets that didn't even finish school that talk better than this man did. He looked real juvenile last night.
Absolutely. Did you see his eye? I was wondering. He didn't look healthy to me when I looked him in his face.
Well, like he's not healthy.
Yeah, he didn't
drink Coke every day. He drinks Coke soda every day.
Yeah, he didn't.
And he don't understand that thing. That I stopped drinking Coke. Coke actually mess with your body in a way. It's breaking down your bone structure. It's like meth for real. That Coke soda. Dark soda's not good anyway, and maybe not even any sodas, but everything is so contaminated in that. But that Coke soda, if you drink that, get away from it. That stuff destroys your teeth. It destroys the inside of your body. And he drinks that every day, they say. And so he's breaking down. He's up in age. You know, when you get up in, I just turned 60 on the 17th. My whole diet is beginning to change because I can't eat the things that I used to eat. But I'm trying to eat healthier. But anyway, those black men that you had on previously, I agree totally, especially that one that was talking about the imperialism in a sense.
Oh, that brother, what was his name? MG2. Oh my God.
He was that talking about that. You gotta remember the Moors is the ones who really, when they talk about the burning sands, and you know, these sororities and fraternities, and they say marching across the burning sands. The burning sands, the Moors marched these Europeans back across the burning sands, back to them Caucasus caves. Because you know, it was them first in the beginning. They taught them everything, even how to wash their butts and stuff. These people don't know nothing.
No, they don't know their history. Go ahead. I'm listening, Queen Mother.
But listen, that dude, he was so on point, and they not coming out that nature. Like last night when they was talking about the the immigrant population coming into the country. I said, why every time they talk about this, they don't talk about all those Europeans that's migrating into this country right now?
Never
they don't
talk
even
about,
have
yep,
the
they don't.
camera on them.
Nope.
As well as Asians that's coming in this country right now. They're only talking about the folks that's of dark hue.
Facts.
The Haitians, the Cubans, the
Venezuelans,
all of them folks.
Yeah, the folks coming from Central and South America.
And poor MS-13, all the thousands of gangs we got in this day, and the biggest gang is them, right? It's this political arena, this red and this blue.
That's right.
But you're gonna pick out MS-13, right? It kind of reminds me of how they picked on black folks back, because we getting a little spine now. We starting to stand up, so they can't pick out. We getting a break because they on the brown community now and beating them up, and we got to pay attention to that, because when they get beat up, we gonna get our turn is next again. They ain't letting us, they ain't taking their foot off our neck, for real. But what that man just said is that whether they use her or, of course, Donald Trump is out the closet. She just not out. Just the way it looks. You know how in the society they have homosexuals and they have in the closet homosexuals. Well, Donald Trump is the out of the closet one, and she's the in the closet one. So it's just two wings on one bird going in one direction. I would love to vote for Cornel West. I'm familiar with his work and what he's done. But the thing is, we haven't gotten that voters block yet, not even in the conscious community, where we've come together. This is the thing. All these folks on this quote unquote grassroots level, where she and poured this like $250 million in that 24-hour period. These are organized organizations that organize enough to pull that money in 24 hours. We don't have a conscious community that can do it, which it seems like we should be able to do it since we're so conscious and so educated. But we're not disciplined enough to have done that yet, to create this voters block so we can be at the table and demand what we want. Even in that in the LGBT community,
yes, ma'am.
People is organized from the East Coast over from the East Coast all the way up to the West, from up north down to south. That's why they get what they want.
Absolutely, they're organized politically. Go ahead, I'm listening. And they get what they want. They get what they want.
The black boule is organized enough to get what they want, and whatever crumbs come out of that, the marginalized community might get some of it. Because I hate that when they talk about, they still operating, in this trickling down of economics. It has never trickled down. You look all around in these cities, these metropolitan cities, from the top of the East Coast all the way down, you see the margin, like y'all said, is gentrifying.
Absolutely.
The whole East Coast is gentrifying. There's a great migration taking place now, and guess what? Everybody think they like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go live my life. It's cheaper. Guess what? You on the chessboard, and you just going over to another block.
Facts.
That's all you doing. You ain't running from nothing. They said I saw you on Dr. Boyd's show, and when you talked about using your skills that you learned through your education, through engineering, bringing that to the community to get folks to strategically, critically think things. Well, when you're playing chess, you have to be strategic.
Absolutely.
And you have to critically think, right? Well, ain't nobody critically thinking right now, because all they doing is moving you from one box to another, because they gentrifying over here. These rich people want this stuff, right? And when you wherever you moving at, it's a trip, because I just heard on the news that down in Orlando, they said that's one of the top markets right now where people is migrating to. Well, my cousin and them migrated down there they was down there about 6 years. For 6 years, they just coming back to Baltimore, right? They talked about how racist, they had the house built and all that stuff down there. They out of there. They out of there. I'm telling you, move to these spots, give it 10, 20 years, it's going to look just like where you just came from.
Who you telling?
I don't care if you're
Absolutely.
coming from Chicago, migrating out of there. I don't care if you're coming out of Baltimore, going back down south. I know y'all ain't thinking about going up north a bit to where Boston is. You don't want to go up there. Because they don't like us up there. It's nowhere in this country, like that man just said on this platform and said, that we can go where they not imperializing at in this country, let alone around the world. My thing is, Dr. Maat, when we talk about us, when the dude just talked about the identity of Black people and is she Black, this is the same thing. Is it we gonna keep going through this when we get these biracial people up here in the presidency? Okay, when is 100% Black here? Because technically, we got a lot of stuff going through our DNA, and we biracial too, but they don't acknowledge that because of the melanin that's surfacing on the top of our skin.
Because of the color
and
of your
because
skin.
we quote unquote, like the other brother just talked about on your platform, identifying what is Black. Because he's right about that part. What you mean by Black when you say you're Black? Right? Black as in the melanin that's in your DNA.
Or your politics, or your politics,
yeah,
your mentality. I'm with you. What does that mean? It can't just be this.
No, and we haven't really sat down and discussed that in our community like that yet. But I know one thing: we are forced to discuss it when we come to this political arena, and it comes out naturally. Is they Black or not?
Mm-hmm.
Even they come in our communities to our community events or what have you. Is they Black or not? It's even when you take a biracial kid that comes into the school before this, because that's a demographic that's growing like 4 times the amount right now. They're not talking about it like that, but they really are. As opposed to Black man, Black woman, white man, white woman. No, this Black man, Black man, white woman, Black woman, white man thing is so, you see it all over TikTok.
Everywhere. I've been seeing it everywhere.
And it's sad because our little girls are sizing themselves. This is why y'all wonder why these girls want to wear this old fake hair and all this old stuff, right? Because they're sizing themselves. They seeing these biracial kids with the natural curly hair and straight hair and stuff, and the algorithms are working for them and not the, let's say, quote unquote 100% Black child. So they like, boy, they pretty, they handsome, or what have you. So now let me get a look. So here it is, our children. Oh, here we go again. Naturally wanting to go over there to be white. Not Black. When you want to put a wig on, it comes all the way down here, a straight wig, right? I don't know what to say about these Calipulla eyelashes and stuff. That stuff is for entertainment. I know Diana Ross and all this, they wore that stuff back in the day. It's for entertainment, people. It's for Broadway. Not going to work every day, looking like you got 2 Calipullas on your eyes, looking like you the Mupp on the Muppet Show from back in the 90s, in the 80s. Real talk. We're not happy. Yeah, look, look at my head.
Natural.
It's short, and guess
natural.
what? You can't tell me I ain't beautiful.
Come on, Queen.
I'm beautiful. Yeah, my hairline receiving a little bit, but I'm not going
to
get them to shoot some needles up in my daggone hairline. You know what the hell they shooting up in you.
This Queen.
You don't know what the hell they shooting up in you.
This Queen going off, y'all.
Y'all better start being happy with yourself.
That's right.
I can be out there in yesterday I was out there from 11 o'clock to 8 o'clock last night cutting everybody grass on the block. It's me and about 2, 3 of my other neighbors and stuff. You should see how dirty and funky I was. And I still pulled the man.
Come on.
Martin Luther King said, judge a man by or a woman by the content of their character. If you like somebody, if they got the right character, you're gonna pull certain folks. It don't matter how you look, whatever. You know, and that what I'm saying this to say that our children are committing suicide today, y'all.
Yes, they are.
The males.
Yes, they are.
Pills and all kind of stuff to get buffed up, get the chest all right, because all the algorithms on these social media platforms, you know, It's going towards all this perfect stuff.
That's right. That's
You
right. So
we're
we gotta.
supposed to be perfect. God has uniquely, divinely made us all look different. And we better stop taking it for granted and appreciate how we look. Our noses. I know people got bottom noses come all the way over here, but it fits that face.
That's right.
I think it look good. You
That's right.
know, I know some people that got the most pointiest of noses, right? And it looks good because it fits their face. Look at Lil' Kim. And I don't know why.
And she looks a mess because little Kim used to be beautiful.
She was beautiful.
Little Kim, when I looked at those throwback pictures, she was beautiful. When you look at those throwback pictures.
I saw.
And now when you look at her, she looks terrible. She looks terrible. And I'm not trying to dog little Kim out or anything like that. When I looked at a recent picture of her, I said, oh my gosh.
You see the video recent? Her and Usher on stage?
No.
She's eating herself. She's depressed. She's eating herself away, man.
I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna Google it and check it out. But Queen, I'm gonna land your plane. I'm gonna land your plane because I'm getting ready to. I'm getting ready to close out. But Queen Mother, I always appreciate you chiming in because you chimed in on Instagram when I went live one time, right?
I talked about you on my live.
No, you came in on my live. You remember you joined me. I was on my way to work.
Yeah,
you came in, and so I appreciate that. And then you dropped it on my YouTube.
Y'all keep joking about us baby boomers.
You know I love my boomers. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know I love my boomers. I was just at an all-white party with my boomers and had a good time.
I know.
I had a good time. But Queen Mother, I appreciate you dropping in.
Peace, y'all. Peace
and love.
Family.
Peace and love to you.
All right.
The Queen Mother was in the building. That's my girl. But look, family, I see some folks on IG and you keep saying that dr.maat.msu's platform is a Kamala bashing platform. I don't bash Kamala. I don't bash her and I don't bash Trump. What I do is critique them. I do critique them. I critique what they say. I critique their actions. And so we got to move past that whole idea that when someone criticizes or analyzes or evaluates someone or something, it's being bashed. Come on now. The Queen Mother just told you that recently. I was on Dr. Watkins' platform and we talked about critical thinking. See, some of you aren't used to critical thinkers. You aren't used to engaging with critical thinkers because that's what critical thinkers do. See, we have been trained and conditioned to operate at the lowest level of thinking, to remember, to recall facts, right? To mimic. And you learn that in the K through 12 food system. So a lot of us operate at the lowest level of thinking. So you're not used to engaging people that say, I'm gonna take it a step further. I wanna apply my higher order thinking skills. So you move from remembering and recalling and imitating and mimicking to now you want to understand information. You want to understand things. Then you want to take that understanding and then apply it to something. Once you apply it to something, you want to analyze what you did. After you analyze what you did, you want to evaluate what you did. And then if you reach the apex, you may innovate or create. Right. And so that's a lot of you aren't used to that. So when you tune in to a platform like this, understand that over here, we criticize everyone and everything. And it's not bashing. It's called having an intellectual discourse. That's what it's called. And some of you aren't used to that. So you look at it when someone criticizes, oh, is she bashing? No, it's called critique. It's called an analysis. It's called an evaluation. So I just encourage you to start applying your higher order thinking skills. And some of y'all in the chat saying things like, I ain't going to vote for Dr. Cornel West because he married to a white woman. Who is Kamala married to? Again, you're not using those critical thinking skills. I ain't voting for him because he married to a white woman, but I'll vote for Kamala because she married to. Come on, man. Y'all gotta. Family, that's why I'm at a point where you wonder why all of my programs are geared towards the youth. I target the youth. Frederick Douglass once said that it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. That's why I direct most of my attention to K through 8th graders. That's where I put my money, my time, my energy, and my resources. K through 8th. Because some of y'all, the elevator is not going to the top floor. And I just don't have the patience. Some of y'all, the elevator is not going to the top floor. And I just don't have the patience to deal with it. I don't. The neurons they aren't firing. And so some of y'all, I just don't have the time to invest in you. You know, maybe other people, other platforms, they do. I'm going after the youth, and I'm going after the people who are critical thinkers, who want to learn, who want to grow. That's who I want to engage in. Not the ones that are online saying, oh, you bashing Trump, you bashing Kamala, no, I'm not bashing anybody. What am I gaining from bashing anybody? I'm not bashing anybody, but I do, as a thinker, criticize and critique. I do critique things. I do critique people. And that's my right. That is my right. I'm focusing on the babies. Darlene X said, we don't focus on our children. That's why we keep making the same mistakes. Thank you. Thank you, sister. Thank you very much. And I want to show you all something else before I close out. Did you all know that last night, I'm going to show you all this. Did you all know that last night, while the debate was going on, there was a protest, a huge protest in Philadelphia. See, the media didn't tell you guys about this. The media didn't show you this. Last night, there was a huge protest in Philadelphia, right outside where the presidential debate was taking place. They have everything blocked off. You had a lot of people out there. And so look at this. I'm just going to show you guys. They were out there. Look, it was daylight initially. It was daylight initially. Hold on. It was daylight initially, and then it got darker and darker. It was huge. It was huge last night. But of course, mainstream media did not show this. You didn't see this on mainstream media. They were trying to look at this live from, they had something called Shut Down Presidential Debate for Gaza Protests in Philadelphia. It was huge. They were right across the building, and they were out there until the night fell. Hold on. They were out there, and they got deeper and deeper and deeper, man. But this is the stuff that they're not showing you on mainstream media. Some of you probably thinking to yourself, damn, if I ain't tuning in to Dr. Maat, I probably would have never heard about this big debate. This big protest that was happening in Philadelphia last night. It was huge. They also have something going on right now, family. Hold on, I'm going to Google it and show it to you. Here it is. They also have something going on right now, family. Here it is. Called the Uncommitted National Movement. They're not playing around. They were at the DNC. This group was at the DNC, the Uncommitted. And so they're going after Trump, and they're going after Kamala. They're going after both of the parties. You know, Trump, Kamala, the Democrats, and the Republicans. They're saying we just have a corrupt system. Both of them are corrupt. They're corrupt. And people are tired, and they're joining this movement right here, the Uncommitted National Movement. And they are making a lot of noise, family. They are making a lot of noise, family. They're making a lot of noise. So anyway, family, let me get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. I appreciate you all tuning in, man. You know, we got the news today that Frankie Beverly, he passed at the age of 77. And I had the honor of seeing him. He came and performed at Baltimore a couple of years ago. And my auntie, my uncle, all of us went up there and we listened to him and we had a good time. And so I'm glad that I had an opportunity to experience him live. You know, I grew up listening to a lot of his music, you know, Frankie Beverly and Mays, listening to a lot of the music. You know, that's like at Black Cookouts, you know, that's what we play. Da, 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 da. Everybody start doing this. Come on, y'all. Y'all know how we do with the Black family. So we grew up, you know, a lot of us grew up off of his music. And so he did pass. And I didn't even know that the brother was sick. As far as I knew, he was still performing. And I knew sometimes when he performed, something was going on with his voice, and he counseled a few times, but I had no idea that the brother was sick. But he lived to be 77. And I mean, this brother traveled around the world. I pray that he flies high. I pray that the ancestors, the creator, receive him well. I pray that they receive him well. I do. And then we got the news that James Earl Jones passed. And I was just like, wow, that daggone voice. All I kept thinking about was his voice. He had a voice. I've never, well, I don't know. You had Barry White had that voice too. Isaac Hayes had that voice, but it was something about James Earl Jones's voice. We heard him in The Lion King, and I remember in the 80s and Coming to America. Remember that voice? Let them wait. I'm talking to my son. So Coming to America, so he will definitely be missed. He passed at the age of 93. Even when he and one of shout out to Dr. Craig Samuels, he sent me a clip of him reading Frederick Douglass' speech. To what I'm probably going to butcher it, but basically it was saying, what does the 4th of July mean to a slave? And then, I'm paraphrasing the exact title, but what is the 4th of July? What is your 4th of July, to the slave? And so he actually read his speech, and just powerful, man. That voice just very, very powerful. So at the beginning of the show, I did play a song called Libation. I call this a lyrical libation, just in honor of James Earl Jones and Frankie Beverly. And so I'm going to play it again to close out. I appreciate you all tuning in. You could have been anywhere in these YouTube streets, but you were right here with your sister, Dr. Maat. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for your mind, and I thank you for your behind. Family, make sure that you thumb up this video before you get out of here. Thumb it up, thumb it up, thumb it up. Also share it. We want to each one teach one. So make sure that you share this discussion. Had a lot of callers come in to share their thoughts about the debate. So very, very good exchange of ideas and thoughts and feelings. And so thank you all for pulling up. Everybody that pulled up on me live, I appreciate it. Also, family, make sure that I already said subscribe. I said thumb it up. I said share. Oh, hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you will be notified. I'm trying to get Dr. Cornell West on here. So make sure that you hit the notification bell. So when I do get him on here, you'll be able to watch it live with me. You can come in and ask some questions. Okay. All right, family. Here's that lyrical libations. Here we go. We out of here.
The elders are our living ancestors. They are our direct connection to the African spirit and way. And we distinguish between elders and those who are simply olders, because menticide has driven some of us into a treasonous arrogance. Those who are truly elders are our seasoned visionaries. They are our proven warrior servant workers. They are those who uncompromisingly speak to what needs to be done. And this is the life of revolutionary sovereignty seeking experience. They hold our vision closer to their hearts because they are us on the horizon of return.
Put your lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put your lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. Yo, I wonder if we seen the elders rise from the grave and they seen us today. What would they say? Envision as you see my words glide from the page. I imagine they would be so ashamed of our ways. We in the same position, maybe because we ain't listen. Do we like the discipline for the tunes they was spitting? Or maybe this was karma because we ain't show them honor. Word to Dr. Ben, we should have held them down stronger. Call it how I see it, maybe that was signs from Jesus. A metaphor on how we gon' treat our own leaders. They came here to teach us and we cheered from the bleachers. And when it's time to ride, we turn our backs when they need us. We pour libations when we form our own nation. I pray we wake up and see the time we was wasting. We even seen Eliza lay the blueprint for black power. Peace to the scholars like Dr. Wilson and Tony Browder. Light us up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put the lighters up high, high, wave around side by side. We gon' light up the sky with an ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit of it dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. If you can hear this, throw your fist in the air. We gon' do this for our family that's here. Yo, this is the hour of celebration for Black Power. To all the soldiers and scholars, giving their flowers. The frontliners like Jabari and the soul vibers. They rep Tubman City, they set the bar higher. And them brothers like KT, the arts degree, they gon' carry on the legacy of Dr. Saber. Peace to risen Islam and Brother Ben. With youth like them, we can end our own suffering. Break the curse of Willie Lynch with Charles S. Finch. Professor Small, take us back to the essence. I pay homage to Carlos Muhammad and Dr. Maat, torchbearers that kept it honest. To light us up high, wave around side by side. We gon' light up the sky with our ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put the lighters up high, wave around side by side. We gon' light up the sky with our ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. My energy and my thoughts is like John Clark. Still on this marathon like Farrakhan. I got an army of riders taught by Elijah. It's time we start this evolution. For Patricia Newton.